My name is Lydia, and this year in school I did a project about my hometown, Clacton-on-Sea. This project extended to Great Clacton and is all about Clacton's age and history, focusing on the buildings in 4 different areas. I chose to focus on Great Clacton's main roads, St Osyth Road, Clacton-on-Sea Town Centre, and St John's Road, all of which I walked down, photographed and researched. The first road I looked at was St Osyth Road. This road was mostly bungalows which looked like they were from the 1960s, but there were also over 10 dated houses which ranged from 1902 to 1933. This road was built mostly when Clacton-on-Sea was thriving as a seaside town, so it has quite attractive houses. Next, I went into Clacton-on-Sea Town Centre and saw lots of styles of houses. Some were Art Deco, which included hotels and villas with fancy balconies. There were also 1930s houses, which were built using the mock Tudor beam and pebble dashing style, where pebbles were dashed and stuck onto the wall. One of the most prominent styles was post-World War II, when lots of infilling houses were built after some were destroyed by bombs. There are also many Victorian houses, which had high ceilings and iron balconies. An interesting building I found was Victoria Villa, a guest house built in 1897, which had a plaque celebrating 60 years of Queen Victoria leading the Commonwealth. The Warwick Arms pub was built in the same year. Then I walked down St John's Road from Close Lane up to the roundabout. This road has many 1930s houses, including a perfect example next to Clacton Fire Station. There were not many Victorian houses and one huge Edwardian house with stained glass and detailed roof tiles. There were just a few very old houses which looked like they were from the countryside and were probably built in the 1700s or earlier, before St John's Road became built up. There were also a lot of bungalows and houses from the 1960s to 1980s, and some infilling post-World War II houses. Finally, I went into Great Clacton itself. On the end of St John's Road, there were 2 Tudor houses which were old and very picturesque. In Great Clacton Centre, I saw the Queen's Head, a former pub building, now mixed usage, probably built in the late 18th to early 19th century. The Thai Vintage, a restaurant that looks Regency or Georgian style. The window style of this building was what I found in Trevor York's British Architectural Styles book to be a cheaper equivalent of bay windows in that time period. I also saw the Ship, a Tudor pub that reminded me of Shakespeare's day, and St John's Church, a large building that is 900 years old. On Old Road there is a long stretch of modern, less attractive Art Deco houses, and quite a lot of 1930s buildings. There is also a place called Windmill Court, which appropriately is the site of a former windmill. On Knox Road, all the houses were in arts and crafts style, but instead of being built in the 1890s like classic arts and crafts houses, they were probably built in the 1930s, like all the 30s houses nearby. Finally, on London Road, there were mostly pretty 1930s houses. Overall, Clacton has a whole mix of different styles of houses from all different times, ranging from the 900-year-old St John's Church to the new Premier Inn building by the seafront. Although it has lost some of its grand tourist attractions and buildings, you can still see the classic seaside town Clacton-on-Sea used to be.